Hi, my name is Ednolda Lopes-Hunt.
Hi, my name is Naisha Richmond.
Hi, my name is Jendai Williams.
And our project is on the effect of television characters on gender norm understanding in young girls. Introduction. In these studies, we found that they were doing research on gender development in young girls and how princess culture affects how they perceive themselves, behave, or later think. Stereotypes are everywhere, whether it is consciously or subconsciously. Children are exposed every day to subconscious stereotypes through television. Children also live and act on these stereotypes presented to them, whether it is through television or their parents' gender stereotypes that are active in their lives. Parents can give children gender norm stereotypes every day and not notice it. Children lead by example, so if they see it, they will reenact it. Parents would also buy girls dolls or Barbies to play with while the boys get cars and trucks. They would also tell their children how a boy is supposed to act like. For example, they would tell boys they are supposed to be the man of the house. And for girls, they would tell them that they are supposed to cook, clean, and be caretakers. Newer television characters are changing children's gender norm understanding today. Disney noir princesses are portraying a different image for females, influencing them to step out of the gender stereotypical mindset. Newer television characters are exposing children to non-stereotypical gender norms. For example, in old Disney movies, the girls would not work and would stay home to cook and clean, like Cinderella and Snow White. While with the newer ones, like Tiana and Mirabelle, they have jobs and responsibilities to take care of their family. Girls who were obsessed with princess culture at 5 were actually more likely to hold progressive views about gender roles, and they advocate for both female empowerment and for men to express their emotions at the age of 10. Our hypothesis is new characters should have a positive effect on young girls' gender norm understanding.
Participants in our study were recruited via emails. We had 36 females and their parents who volunteered through a university in the Northeast region of the United States. Children were between the ages of 6 to 10 in our study, with a mean of 8.0 and a standard deviation of 1.5. Due to incomplete survey and missing data, we had to eliminate data for 21 participants and perform analysis on the remaining 17 participants. Our survey in our study consisted of 4 parts and 32 multiple choice questions. Part A consisted of 5 general information questions, such as what is your child's age and gender? Part B were 17, what is the name of this character question? This section had a mixture of old and new characters that were not in a certain order. Part C consisted of 5 questions of who do you like the most? And part D were 6 questions of who would you like to play with? Part C and D were in a certain order, alternating between old and new. The independent variables in our study are the old and new television characters. By alternating between an old and new character, we are measuring the child's preference. Part B was designed to record the child's awareness of these television characters. We wanted to make sure that the child was able to correctly identify these characters, whether it was an old character or a newer character. Part C and D were designed to observe young girls' general understanding of gender norm. Part C and D were manipulated in a way that had an old character like Kim Possible against a new character like Mirabelle, and the child had to choose either or. After we ran a multiple regression test.
Our main findings in this study is that children who had higher accuracy in identifying television characters for both old and new characters displayed higher results of warrior preference. Children who have watched newer television characters shown a higher level of warrior preference.
This is our multiple regression test table and figure. We grabbed 2 variables, the accuracy for old character and the accuracy for new characters, and combined them together to see their prediction of warrior preference, and we had a positive correlation. We also ran a Pearson correlation between just the new character accuracy and warrior preference, and we also found a significance in that. As you can see in the table and figure, in the multiple regression tests, we found that the child's accuracy for old and new characters together predict a higher chance for warriors. It had a large effect size with R squared being 0.415. Also, in our Pearson correlation, we found that the child's accuracy on newer characters was positively correlated with their preference for warriors, which is what our hypothesis stated.
Our hypothesis supports our results, which allowed us to reject our null hypothesis. Old versus new were related. However, they were warrior-like characters of old that were used in the study. We use such characters as, to the left, Mulan and Kim Possible, which deem more warrior-like that are actually in the old television character category. Therefore explains one of the factors as to why the old television character accuracy leads to a higher chance of choosing a warrior. In one of the previous studies that we researched, the researchers explained that the characteristics of their study included traditionally masculine that are like considered athletic and brave, and traditionally feminine. And that extends our past research because it is researching and understanding young girls' development over time, since our studies have ranged into discussing the effect of old and new television characters on young children. The biggest drawbacks we had is that we had a very limited sample because we wanted to explore the effect of television characters on young girls, not boys. An implication of our study would be analyzing the effect of old and new famous movie actresses on young girls, basically like replicating our study and switching out our independent dependent variables. Another implication would be displaying more new and old television characters in our study and increasing the number of questions about television character preference. For our future perspectives, this study needs more of an analysis of the relationship of gender identity development in young children.
These are the sources that we used in our slides. If you would like to see all of our sources, it will be available upon request.